means to have achievement of the goals. Achievement of the goals declared for this mission. Okay, achievement of the goals. After, we have some other parameters which are included in the first initial concept. For example, the so-called static approach means that the organization should understand well what is the present situation in which is called to intervene, and dynamical approach to understand well, to pursue well the change process of the environment in which works. So, static approach and dynamical approach should be positive elements of the whole work of an organization. Another basic element of this term work is adaptation ability, to adapt with a positive way to the environment, and on the other hand, to have integration ability. I mean, to integrate the parts and the elements of its own entity in something which works all together. I mean, as totality, with lines established and lines which are accepted by the members of this organization. So, in few words is this analysis of the work done by the organization. Now, when we say cost, we mean many things. For example, natural resources, artificial and human capital, conflicts, and tendency for derangement of the social relations because of the problems created by the try of this organization to achieve some goals. For example, if a party is a left party, as now we have in Greece left party in government, and tries to apply a policy in favor of working classes, we are a lot of obstacles. There are many resistant groups which are against this social policy. So the whole attempt of this organization, the party as organization, finds some obstacles in his way, and so these obstacles create derangement of social relations, and altogether can be included in the term cost. There is social cost for that. And you need, here in Greece, we felt the cost of these tries in the last months, because finally we have capital control, we have a lot of derangements, a lot of dysfunctions of the whole economic and administrative system. So this is a cost. So from this point of view, a Greek citizen could criticize the left party, the left governing party, as party with no so good performance, because felt the Greek citizens a lot of cost, and the results, I mean the work done by it, probably was not so high as they believed. Because at first we say, for example, no other memo, no other agreement with European zone. But finally we signed this contract. We signed this agreement. Cost, but the goals could not be achieved as at first the governing party declared. No other agreement. Finally the agreement, there is a new one. So some example about these notions. I mean work, cost, and the relations between them. Because in this essence is exactly the notion of performance. If, for example, the left party had achieved the goal and for another time would not have signed any agreement, so it could say, yes, what I declare, I did it. I didn't sign a new agreement. And I realized, implemented what a new social policy in favor of working classes against the Eurozone directions. In that time, the performance would be very high. Less cost and achievement of the goals declared from the beginning. This is example. But is example, no theoretical, but happened in the last 6-7 months in Greece. Of course, it's a much more complicated and difficult problem because there is a difference between South and North. It's not so easy to succeed. Huh? And that's why the government make the whole problem international, that there is international problem between North and South about the public debt, how to reduce the debt with policies and tactics which are close to the principles of social state. It's something much more complicated. But from the point of view, of performance approach, we can say these things. High performance if we have achieved the goal as we declare. Low performance if we cannot do it. So, in general, we can say that when we say about organization, efficient organization, it's not something neutral. And that's why I'm again close to these examples. An organization, a bank, the bank system in Greece, for example, or something else outside Greece, Central European Bank, for the bank system. It's not something like mechanical system. Doesn't work in a neutral environment. No, because it's connected with a social context, with class conflicts, with class priorities, with class predominance. Now we have the establishment on finance capital and the pressure for some directions against the working classes in favor of this capital. So all these things work in social context. So we cannot find an organization absolutely neutral, like a mechanical system, like a computer, for example. Everything in this organization has accepted, has been influenced by social parameters, forces, interests, class differentiations, everything. So it is false when the European institutions, for example, say this performance of this bank or of this organization in Greece does not work well. It's very, very low. But yes, but in order to find the truth about that, we should know the whole context. If the European North presses always this country, and the organization of this country cannot work with the right and functional way. If, for example, the Central European Bank decided not to give you more currency, and after that, everything, because we are absolutely dependent on the Central European Bank system, will be in failure. So, I'm against, and I declare this thing against the pure positivist approach, to the performance of organizations. Everything has class color. Everything has accepted the pressure of some concrete social forces. But the very thing is to understand well the initial goals, which are the beginning of the mission of the organization. If we do not define and understand well these goals, we cannot perceive well the functions of a particular organization, and we cannot measure exactly the performance, the efficiency of this organization. We start always with the goals. As Aristotle said, you know, in ethos, there is combined matter and form. So there is always, in everything, according to Aristotle's philosophy, a telos. Telos means end, aim, goal. I don't know if everything in this universe has goals, but the organizations have goals. So we should start from the goals and to criticize these goals and to connect them with the social, historical dynamics and with the needs of the human society, with the needs of working classes, with the needs of the citizens. And what we say about universalism, we have correspondence with needs. The needs of the humanity is not to have wars and catastrophes and danger, not to have self-destruction, but the needs mean that we should find a coherence between us in order to advance the civilization in general in this planet. So always we should criticize the goals with reference to the needs of the human society. Now, what is exactly the contribution now in this direction of the systems theory and socio-cybernetics? It's a great contribution, really. Why? Because we can measure the efficiency, the performance of the organization if we conceive of that as system. And system means something which as whole is greater than the particular parts of it. For example, the body, the human body as a biological organism is a system because it's greater than the particular parts of this. Socio-cybernetics is cybernetics of social systems. And cybernetics, we know, as Wiener said, this is the science of communication, control, management and control of the machines and the animals. Of course, it's something very, very instrumental and very, very, we can say, according to the hard science terms. But in social science, we have the term socio-cybernetics, cybernetics of the social systems. And much more the second order cybernetics, in which the decision-making center has not absolutely difference with the environment. Between observed and observer, there is a relationship. So we have to do with the meanings, we have to do with the behavior as psychological behavior. We have many other parameters unknown to the mechanical systems or absolutely biological systems. So social systems and second order cybernetics are connected. And such a thing is a very good tool in order to measure the efficiency of this human unit, human organization. The socio-cybernetics as tool. So, it's a first contribution, this one, that they measure the organization, they face the organization as systems. Another contribution is that they associate with the very critical issue of hierarchy and the issue of values. So the value system for the systems theory is something very basic, and is from the first. Is at the beginning of the whole discussion to clarify the value subsystem, which is at the top of the whole system. So when we say goals of this organization, of a left party, for example, we should clarify what kind of value are accepted by this. Is a humanitarian party, is a party according to which the first thing is to gratify, to meet needs of working classes or not. So the value subsystem is the first. The value issue is very critical. And the hierarchy, to put the subsystems in a hierarchy. So to have much more hierarchical perception about the things in this organization. So, another very, very crucial thing and very good contribution of the systems theory and socio-cybernetics is what? They contribute to the rational approach of these human units. How rationally we can measure their efficiency, we can measure the adaptation ability, we can measure the achievement of the goals declared from the beginning. So the rational advantage is an advantage of the systems theory and social cybernetics. Of course, we know that in the social systems there are antinomies, antagonists too. There are many, sometimes contradictions, yes, but the point is to fulfill, as it is possible, the demand of rationalization. And don't forget that what we say is modernization is connected with rationalization. But at the same time, I say that it's not the rationalization, the whole thing, of course, because sometimes we need, in spiritualism, we need many other parameters of the human being, beliefs and religions sometimes, but the rational approach is a contribution of the systemic theory. Another thing is a contribution that always these approaches, they want to find correspondence between inputs and outputs. Inputs is what is coming from the environment to the organization as resources, as data, as information, as support of the people, and outputs are the decisions. So these theories try always to find correspondence and to say that the good decision is based on good perception of the inputs is from cybernetic model. So I think that this is a very good contribution with negative and positive, of course, feedback loop, because the outputs influence the inputs through feedback. And we have, as we know, negative and positive feedback. Sometimes counterbalances, sometimes something which run away, as we say. More higher and more higher and more higher. For example, in a case of revolution, or in a case of permanent changes in order to achieve something. So, they study systems theory and socio-cybernetics, how to control the environment based on inputs and outputs. Now, because we should be shorter, another contribution is with the second order cybernetics, second order, that we study processes as self-reference, self-steering, autocatalysis, cross-catalysis, autopoiesis, meaningful communication and bifurcation tension. And this study is very good contribution in handling the unstable situation and in handling the process of change. How to change the environment, how to change yourself as organization, and to go ahead. Another, another contribution, and I want to finish with that, of course, because my friend Igor said to me that, I should be in the conclusion, is that is a very good help in order to contribute to the process of change, and at the same time to reduce, this is very, very crucial point, entropy, the tendency of disorganization. With inputs, outputs, and feedback, these processes, and much more with the second order cybernetics, we can control the whole process much better. To reduce the entropy, namely the disorganization, and to increase the contribution for the desired change we want to achieve in concrete social environments. That's all. Probably my paper is a little more instrumental. I mean, in scientific terms, more strict. But what I want to underline, to underscore, is that in order to have better performance of the social organizations, okay, we need to have very rational approach and at the same time we have a correspondence between decisions and inputs according to cybernetic model, and by this way we can achieve many goals as we have declared from the beginning. Thank you very much. Of course, we didn't have the screen with some equations.
Next time.
Next time. I don't know if there is a set of questions for discussion.
No, but our time is out. Now concert starts. The concert starts. So tomorrow, come.
Concert?
Yes.
Tomorrow what? Is that
8 to 10. 8 to 10. Yes. We also have this concluding session, 8 to 10 p.m.
Okay, thank you for another time.
Philip, 8 with 10 p.m. Not morning.
Yes.
Right.
It's after
Because we should go to excursion.
After
Yes,
this
after the end of the excursion, after the inspection. Say a few words, just a few words.
Ο καθηγητής κ. Νικολόπουλος μας μίλησε για την κοινωνική. Τι θες να το κάνεις εσύ?
Ρεζουμέ.
Εσύ καλύτερα θα πεις, πραγματικά σου
Αν θέλεις το λέω.
Γιατί δεν το λες εσύ στα ελληνικά?
Το θέμα μου ήταν
Έλα να πάμε και πες τα καλά.
πολύ λίγο, 2 λεπτά. Είναι η αποτελεσματικότητα των οργανισμών, των μεγάλων κοινωνικών οργανισμών και πώς σε αυτό συμβάλλει η θεωρία των συστημάτων και της κοινωνιοκυβερνητικής, της κυβερνητικής, δηλαδή των κοινωνικών συστημάτων. Είπα λοιπόν για αυτό το πράγμα πρέπει να ξεκαθαρίσουμε τρεις άξονες. Πρώτον, να ορίσουμε με μεγάλη ακρίβεια τι εννοούμε efficiency, τι εννοούμε δηλαδή αποδοτικότητα, αποτελεσματικότητα του οργανισμού αυτού. Στη συνέχεια να καθορίσουμε ποιες ανάγκες κοινωνικές ικανοποιούνται από την δράση αυτού του οργανισμού. Οργανισμός των Εθνών, ένα αριστερό κόμμα για παράδειγμα, όλα αυτά είναι οργανισμοί, organizations. Και το τρίτο είναι να καταλάβουμε καλά το επίπεδο αναφοράς. Δηλαδή, μιλάμε για την αποτελεσματικότητα ενός κόμματος που λειτουργεί σε πολιτικό επίπεδο ή μιλάμε για έναν οργανισμό που σκοπό έχει να προστατεύσει το περιβάλλον. Greenpeace για παράδειγμα. Πρέπει να ξέρουμε για ποιο περιβάλλον μιλάμε κάθε φορά για να μετρήσουμε σωστά την αποτελεσματικότητα. Είπα μετά ότι δεν πρέπει να έχουμε καθαρά ποζιτιβιστική, θετικιστική δηλαδή αντίληψη αυτής της αποτελεσματικότητας. Τι σημαίνει αυτό? Ότι ο οργανισμός ο κοινωνικός ποτέ δεν λειτουργεί σαν ένα μηχανικό σύστημα. Πάντα είναι μπλεγμένος σε κοινωνικές διαδικασίες, σε κοινωνικό κόντεξ, σε κοινωνικά συμφραζόμενα. Έχουμε ταξικές συγκρούσεις, έχουμε διαφορές κοινωνικές, έχουμε πιέσεις, έχουμε ανταγωνισμούς. Τίποτα δεν λειτουργεί ουδέτερα. Γι' αυτό και ανέφερα το παράδειγμα με τους οργανισμούς των βόρειων χωρών και της Ευρωπαϊκής Ζώνης που μας λέγανε μέσα στα 7 χρόνια δεν λειτουργεί σωστά, τα τελευταία 7 μήνες δεν λειτουργεί σωστά. Λοιπόν, η Κεντρική Ευρωπαϊκή Τράπεζα, για παράδειγμα, είναι στα χέρια, επηρεάζεται καθοριστικά από ένα κατεστημένο χρηματιστικού κεφαλαίου. Δεν είναι ουδέτερο.
Εκμετάλλευση.
Και πάτε πολύ σωστά το λέτε, το είπα πιο διπλωματικά.
Όχι, να το λέτε ομά για να γίνεται κατανοητό.
Τίποτα δεν λειτουργεί, συμφωνώ με τον πατέρα, τίποτα δεν είναι ουδέτερο. Ο άλλος ο οποίος λέει, εγώ είμαι Ευρωπαϊκός Μηχανισμός Στήριξης. Αυτό το πράγμα δεν είναι ουδέτερο. Αυτός λέει, θα σου δώσω δάνειο, αλλά θα σου πάρω την ψυχή. Αυτό γιατί, διότι πιέζεται από ένα...
Να δώσω εγώ σε όποιον θέλει 1 εκατομμύριο να μου δώσει 30. Το κάνω αύριο.
Λοιπόν, δεν είναι ουδέτερο, τίποτα δεν είναι ουδέτερο. Λοιπόν, και λέω μετά στη συνέχεια ότι πρέπει να έχουμε και μια ποιοτική, ας το πούμε, προσέγγιση του πώς λειτουργεί ο μηχανισμός του οργανισμού και να μετρήσουμε ανάλογα την αποτελεσματικότητα. Στη συνέχεια λέω ότι είπα ότι η αποτελεσματικότητα είναι ένας λόγος του έργου το οποίο έχει πλανιστεί από τον οργανισμό διά του κόστους επί το χρόνο. Δηλαδή, όταν κανείς λειτουργεί μεγάλη αποτελεσματικότητα, παράγει έργο σε μικρό χρονικό διάστημα με λίγο κόστος, όπως μια οικονομική μονάδα. Αυτό όμως θα πρέπει να μεταφράζεται κάθε φορά σε κοινωνικούς όρους. Διότι αν λειτουργεί ένας οργανισμός φιλόπτωχος, για παράδειγμα, αυτό που τον ενδιαφέρει είναι πόσο θα μπορέσει να βοηθήσει τον φτωχό άνθρωπο και όχι πόσα λεφτά θα βγάλει. Γι' αυτό έχει σημασία να ξέρουμε, τόνισα, τους σκοπούς κάθε φορά του οργανισμού αυτού. Τα Ηνωμένα Έθνη τι έχουν για σκοπό? Την ειρήνη. Την πέτυχαν την ειρήνη στα τελευταία χρόνια.
Τα ίδια δημιουργούν πόλεμο.
Το τελευταίο ραπόρτο για τον Οργανισμό των ΗΠΑ λέει ότι πάρα πολλά λεφτά καταναλώνονται σε γραφειοκράτες μέσα στα Ηνωμένα Έθνη. Λοιπόν, έχουμε πολύ κόστος και λίγο αποτέλεσμα. Συνεπώς, το performance, η αποτελεσματικότητα του οργανισμού είναι μειωμένη. Αυτή είναι η έννοια βασικά της αποτελεσματικότητας. Και είπα ότι η συστημική θεωρία και η κοινωνικοκυβερνητική συμβάλλει στο να μετρήσουμε σωστά αυτή την αποτελεσματικότητα. Πρώτον, διότι αντιμετωπίζει ορθολογικά τα πράγματα. Δεύτερον, ότι βλέπει τον οργανισμό σαν σύστημα. Τίποτα δηλαδή μέσα στον οργανισμό δεν είναι τυχαίο. Το ένα εξαρτάται από το άλλο. Το είπαμε και εδώ τώρα γενικά από μια ανατολική θεώρηση ότι οτιδήποτε στο σύμπαν συμβαίνει επηρεάζοντας το ένα το άλλο. Τίποτα δεν είναι. Λοιπόν, αυτό το συλλαμβάνει πολύ καλά η συστημική θεωρία. Οι σχέσεις των στοιχείων ενός οργανισμού δεν είναι τυχαίες. Επηρεάζουν το ένα το άλλο. Ειδικά για την κοινωνικοκυβερνητική, είπαμε ότι στηρίζεται στο μοντέλο εισρωές, εκροές και ανατροφοδότηση. Δηλαδή, παίρνουμε στοιχεία, παίρνουμε υποστήριξη, παίρνουμε πληροφορία, παίρνουμε φυσικούς πόρους από το περιβάλλον και παίρνουμε κάποιες αποφάσεις μετά. Οι αποφάσεις πρέπει να στηρίζονται στις εισρωές. Διαφορετικά δεν έχουμε ισορροπία. Λοιπόν, και διαμέσου αυτού του μηχανισμού που λέγεται μηχανισμός ανατροφοδότησης πετυχαίνει τον έλεγχο το οργανισμός πάνω στο περιβάλλον του συγκεκριμένου. Αυτά είναι.
So today's session is finished. Awaiting you tomorrow, but now it will be the cultural program. Please stay and stay good.
Just half a minute. Έχουμε ένα γράμμα ευχαριστήριο και συγχαρητήριο και συγχρόνως μια αίτηση για να γίνει μέλος της κυρίας Ιωάννα Καναστούτη, η οποία υπήρξε πολλά χρόνια στην πολιτική αεροπορία στέλεχος, αεροσυνοδός, διευθυντία, σύμβουλος κλπ. Θέλω να πω, επειδή δεν έχουμε πολύ χρόνο, δεν έχουμε καθόλου χρόνο, να της πω ότι βεβαίως δεχόμαστε την υποψηφιότητα. Είναι μαζί μας? Βεβαίως και δεχόμαστε την ευγενική σας αίτηση και το πολύ ωραίο γράμμα το οποίο θα φροντίσουμε να αναρτήσουμε στο site. Για να γίνεται, το μόνο που χρειάζεται είναι να μπείτε στο site του Φιλοσοφικού Φόρουμ. Αν βάλετε Παγκόσμιο Φιλοσοφικό Φόρουμ στο Google, θα σας βγάλει την ιστοσελίδα μας. Εκεί μπορείτε με δύο τρόπους να γίνετε μέλος. Ή χτυπώντας πάνω στο σύνδεσμο που λέει Οργανισμός Dialectic, θα σας βγάλει τη φόρμα που θα συμπληρώσετε. Ή θα μπείτε εκεί που γράφει Συμπόσια, θα σας ανοίξει πάλι τις σχετικές φόρμες και εκεί που λέει Registration, εγγραφή, θα βρείτε τη φόρμα, θα βάλετε τα στοιχεία σας και αυτό είναι όλο. Οπότε βεβαίως είναι πολύ σωστά αυτά που λέτε, βεβαίως και συμφωνούμε όλοι μας με αυτές τις θέσεις και βεβαίως μπορείτε να βοηθήσετε με όλα αυτά, οπότε με χαρά μας θα σας δούμε από την επόμενη φορά σαν ενεργό πλέον μέλος. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ. Μην ξεχνάμε αύριο, φίλοι μου, ότι το πούλμαν για την Τρίτη Επίδαυρο και Μικίνες ξεκινάει 8:45 από τη Βιβλιοθήκη Ομονίας μπροστά από το Χόντους. Πρέπει να έχουμε τα ονομάτα μας δηλωμένα, γιατί όποιος δεν είναι στη λίστα δεν θα μπορέσει να ταξιδέψει. And just remind you that coach David excursion to Mike Mancini's in Epidurus starts out at Merlion Square at 8:45 in the morning outside the Honda's department. So make sure you have entered your names in the list in the travel list.